Hello, Black women. So, if you have ever looked at yourself mid pattern, okay, mid doom scrolling, mid people pleasing, mid self betrayal, mid basically bad habit, and thought to yourself, what the hell? What the heliante? What the helly Burton? What the helly Berry? Why do I keep doing this? I know better than this. Then, this video is for you. Guess what, sis? You are a whole entire human being. Isn't that good news? I think we've all found ourselves in that exact same situation. Even though we know what to do, we still ain't doing it. Yeah? I know I'm not the only person. And I want to come today and tell you that that doesn't mean that your healing isn't working. It literally just means that your body is still learning what your mind has already learned. So, today I want to talk to you about what's happening underneath that feeling of I know better, but I'm not doing better. Why we resist new ways of doing things and what keeps us repeating old patterns. And then finally, we're going to talk about how to bridge the gap between knowing a thing and living a thing, right? Knowing a thing and living out your healing. If you are new here, hi, my name is Rushni Cope, also known online as Glamazini. I am a certified life coach and a content creator, and I help Black women heal, amplify their gifts, and create lives that love them back. I am live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. If you are watching, drop a pineapple emoji in the chat and tell me where in the world you are watching from. First of all, I want to see the size of the text on this new update for the chat. You just saw me switch it around because they let me fandangle it. Also, this is not my normal time. Okay. Happy Halloween, everybody. I have a whole bunch of headbands over here that I was going to choose from. If you remember, I had a podcast where I used to wear these things all the time, but my bun is in the way. So unfortunately, I can't be a bunny rabbit, which is what I was last Halloween. I can't be a deer. I have the Serengeti package, so it's kinda weird, zebras and stuff. So we're just gonna go with this, and Halloween will have to be what's in the background. Was my son something for Halloween? Yes. I dressed him up as a cute black cat. I guess I could have shown you guys a picture, but, let me see. Let me see if I could show you guys a picture for all the aunties who might want it, and then we're gonna get right into it. Do, do, doody doo. Okay, give me 1 second here to give you guys Black Cat realness before he went skedaddling out. Okay, here we go. Can you see that? Get into it. Okay. Anyway, so thank you so much. Hi, Jana. Thank you for my pineapple. Wait, wait. What flag is that? I should know that. Oh, I'm not recognizing your flag, boo boo. Tell me which flag. Oh, I think my Caribbean card's about to get taken. Oh. All right, you guys. So a couple things while Jana tells me where her flag is. Housekeeping things. First of all, let's celebrate the fact that I, in the past week, have earned three different certifications. And Higa, I know, Jana. That's why I said, do I get any points for knowing that it was a Caribbean flag, but not knowing which island? Do I at least get points for that? Sorry. I was like, I'm about to get my Caribbean. I'm about to get my Caribbean card pulled. But listen, folks, they taking my Caribbean card, okay? And my black card. Apparently, I can't hold on to any card. So I apologize. Antigua in the house. Okay. This past week, I earned three different certifications. First, I earned a QPR certification. Feel free to celebrate with me live and on the replay. I will take all the emojis, which is a national suicide prevention training that equips me to recognize the warning signs of a mental health crisis, ask hard questions with compassion, and connect the person with someone that can help them before it's too late. Then I also got a mental health first aid certification, which trained me to recognize signs of mental health or substance use challenges and provide the initial support under professional help when available. Thank you, Marissa, for all of my stuff. And finally, I got a Scrum Master certification, which equips me to lead agile teams using the Scrum framework. Now, fun fact, in a past life, I worked on Scrum teams as a product owner, a developer, and in user experience. And honestly, I never thought about getting Scrum Master certified, but it came bundled with the other two certifications. So I was like, hey, why not? Okay, your girl's getting sorted out. So while I have all intention of remaining a content creator and a coach, the Scrum certification definitely helps me help women build more easeful lives that are efficient, and also help women amplify their gifts, okay, when I work with them. So, yay, me. And I encourage you to celebrate your big and small wins as well. The next live that I do in my free community is going to be next Tuesday, and I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is don't knock small things you haven't tried. Okay. And lastly, the Create Your Life virtual planning retreat and 10-month coaching incubator starts on December 12th. If you would like to find out more, bit.ly/slash virtual planning retreat or go to glamazini.com, which is a link on the screen, and you can find out more on that later. Let me tell y'all something. I thought I didn't have enough light. I'm filming in a different spot, and I've been using the window for my light source. I thought I didn't have enough light, and now I feel like I have too much. Like, I turned the lights down, but listen, I guess that's better than sitting in the darkness. Now let's talk about why you can know better and not do better. Why you can know better and not do better, right? There is a very frustrating gap when you're on a healing journey between knowing a thing and doing a thing, right? I've noticed that many women in my audience have read the books, we've taken the courses, we've journaled in our journals, we've gone to therapy, and we can even explain our own triggers like we wrote the manual on ourselves. Yet, somehow, we still react to certain things exactly the same. And when we get stuck, in these habits and patterns, we feel bad because we think to ourselves, I know better than this. And I don't even want to be this person. And we keep asking ourselves, like, so why, what's wrong with me? Why do I keep doing this? Am I broken? And let me tell you this, ma'am, okay? You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're not lazy. And you're not failing. You ready for this? You know what you are? You are human. Yeah. I know, shocking Black woman. You're a human being. You are an actual human being. And your nervous system, you knew it was coming. The nervous system was coming. It's my favorite thing, okay? Your nervous system just has not caught up to the new awareness that your intellect has. That's really all that's happening. Your body, yada, 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 hasn't caught up to your brain. Right? You have an unrealistic expectation of integration and implementation, which is why I'm doing this video to help you so that you don't quit before the change has come, right? So, when you quote unquote know better, it means that your mind comprehends the healed lesson. That's all it means. It means that your mind understands it, but it doesn't mean that your body, which is the part of you that learned how to survive certain things in your past through repeating certain behaviors and choices, it doesn't mean that your body is running a new script at all. It doesn't. That's unrealistic. Your brain can tell you, I deserve rest. And your body can say, if I slow down, I'm falling behind. I'm not safe. Your brain can say, I need to set a boundary with that person. And your body can say, if I tell them no, they're going to hate me and then they're going to leave me. Your brain can tell you, I'm perfectly safe now. And your body can still be acting like there's danger around every corner. Listen, this is one of the reasons why I started going to acupuncture. I actually have an acupuncture appointment in the morning because of this very same thing. I had done all the work and I could not figure out why I could consciously tell myself that I felt safe and I had gotten myself to safety in so many spaces and my body was still reacting. And so I heard Danny from Danny Went No Contact here on YouTube mention Marissa said, "Yeah, come on, nervous." You knew it was coming. It was coming out my mouth. Okay. I heard Danny from Danny Went No Contact mention that she had a similar experience and she found her an acupuncturist. And I've been working with that acupuncturist for years. And when I tell you, it has made a world of difference. And fun fact, I was a skeptic. I did not believe that anything about what this woman was doing, and I went in there and told her so. But you hear me say, I've been working with this woman since 2002 or 3, and she about to go get my money again tomorrow because my body had to catch up. My nervous system was still overreacting, okay? So, this is the tug of war that you are dealing with between knowledge and embodiment, between knowing and doing, between logic and intellect and living, right? When you try to change a pattern, your brain's alarm system honestly does not care what you know. It don't even care what you want. All right? It cares about what is familiar. Human beings default to what is familiar. Remember that. Human beings default to what is familiar. Even if it's bad for us, we default to it because we align familiarity with safety. So if chaos is familiar to you, you going to choose chaos every time, boo boo. It don't matter what you think you want. You going to choose chaos. If people pleasing kept you safe back in the day, guess what you doing? Pleasing them people. If boundaries felt like rejection back in the day, guess what you don't have? Not a daggone boundary. If you were overworking and it earned you some sort of external approval in the past, then you're not resting. You are unrested because you don't want to give up that approval, right? When you try to live differently with intention, your entire body is realistically going, "Oh my god, I've never done this before." And then it starts to kind of sabotage you because it's going to choose what's familiar every single time. But real talk, I shouldn't call it sabotage. What your body is doing is working as intended. What your body is doing is trying to protect yourself, right? That's exactly what it should be doing. And part of the work is understanding that this is what's happening so that you don't quit, right? So that you don't quit. Because the gist of most healing work that I have found is literally teaching your body that the new way is not a threat, that the new way of doing it is not a threat, that there is safety in creating something different, something that you actually want, something that embodies your actual desires, something where you show up in it, and something that you in the past could not figure out how to get. Yeah. So I'm going to call this the 4 stages of doing better. It's known in psychology as the 4 stages of, I think they call it, there's a lot of names. People call it the stages of change. I'm going to call it the stages of doing better. Okay. You've heard this before. Let's go over it again. These are the stages that people move through when they are learning and incorporating a new behavior into their lives, right? It's how you move from knowledge of a thing to application and competence of the thing, right? First, you start out unaware and you don't know what you don't know. Then you recognize what you don't know. And then you acquire the knowledge. So you know it and you're not that good at it. And finally, you master the thing. So you've integrated it into your living. So let's talk through each of those one at a time. And you've heard them before. Oh, you know what? I had gotten a little graphic. Can I pull it up now? No. Ah, drats. I was supposed to put the graphic on the screen. I was trying to be fancy. I totally pulled it up, but I don't feel like fumbling with that now. So the first one is unconscious incompetence. You've heard this before. The second stage is conscious incompetence. The third stage is conscious competence. The fourth stage is unconscious competence. Let's talk through them. Okay. Unconscious competence is when you don't know what you don't know. Is ignorance is bliss. Okay. It's when you're living on autopilot. You don't even know you don't know a thing. These people are so happy. All right. All you got to do is look at our current administration for any example of ignorance is bliss, totally blind to detrimental choices and behaviors and ways of showing up. But in your own lived life, unconscious incompetence is thinking that burnout is just part of being strong. So you're not even trying to do anything different. Okay. You got a crappy job and you think this is just how jobs are. Okay. Your skin is breaking out. You think this is just what skin does. Everybody in your family is over 400 pounds. You think people are just over 400 pounds. Unconscious incompetence is you don't even know what you don't know. You're living on default and you're living on autopilot. Then, when somebody goes into doing better, the next stage of doing better or change, right, is conscious incompetence. What does that mean? It means you know that you don't know it. You know that you don't know it, okay? It would be like if all of a sudden you wake up and you're just like, "I am overweight. The reason why my knees are hurting and I can't breathe is because I am 527 pounds and I never work out. So I'm not just overweight, I'm unhealthy," because people can have heavy weight and be healthy, right? I don't know what to do. Everyone around you is overweight. There's no information. So you become conscious of the fact that you don't know the thing. You can see the pattern. You're aware of it, but you don't have any idea what to do about it, right? So that's like, let's say you start realizing you overgive in situations on a repeated basis. And when you say no, it sends you into a panic attack. You don't know how to stop overgiving. You don't know how to say no, but you just know you're aware of it. That's conscious incompetence. Once a person goes from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence, the next step is conscious competence. What is that? It means you know and you start practicing a new way. You know and you start practicing a new way. You start practicing the new thing on purpose, but it takes a lot of effort and you're shaky and you're making mistakes and you're in and you're out and you're in and you're out, okay? The best example I can ever tell you about conscious competence is a person learning how to drive for the first time. They're behind the wheel, they're driving the car, but they are thinking to themselves, my hand needs to be here, and then my hand needs to be here, and I need to look in here, and then I need to check the mirror, and then I need to check the mirror. Okay, press the gas. Now press the brake. I have to put it in gear. They are very focused on all of the actions. They are conscious and they can drive the car, but it is very much full of effort. Very much full of effort. And then the last stage when somebody's going to do better, when they learn a thing, is unconscious competence, right? Unconscious competence. Example includes a person that can drive and has been driving for years, right? It becomes second nature. It becomes default. Who here has been driving for a really long time and jumps in the car and thinks, I need to check the mirrors. Let me make sure my hands are this. You don't. You do it. You're back on autopilot, but you're on autopilot of competence, not incompetence, right? So you have incorporated the new thing, it becomes second nature. You are resting when you're tired. You are eating healthier. You can say no in a calm manner. You can choose peaceful things. You are surrounding yourself with, like, you're not even, it's not even second thought, right? Those are the stages. Now, here is why you know better, but you can't do better. The awkward in between stage, between stage 3 and stage 4, is where most people quit. The people who are conscious that they know what they're doing and it takes a lot of effort and they keep basically effing up, and the people who do it on autopilot, that is where people quit because it's messy and it's uncomfortable. And for many Black women, that feels like failure because we are perfectionists. Okay. But it's not failure. That's working as intended. It's integration, and integration, say it with me, is the art of doing what you already know. Integration is the art of doing what you already know. It's the art of doing the do, okay? Let me go in here. Marissa says her head has blown off. Yeah, boo boo, that's why we stop. That's why we stop, because we think we're supposed to just go from not knowing anything to unconscious competence without the other steps. We are unaware of the other steps. We are perfectionists and we don't want to ask for help. And many of us feel shame being seen trying because the only options we ever give ourselves is perfect or nothing at all or hide in shame, right? Janice says, it's easier said than done. I feel like I always make plans, journal, and try to be that girl, but nada. I drag my feet when it comes to looking after me. Procrastination is a killer. Um, yes, and It is absolutely easier said than done, but it's supposed to be easier said than done. Does that make sense? It's supposed to be easier said than done because there's a difference between the said and the done, which is what I'm saying. So, yes, if the expectation is it's supposed to be easier for me to say a thing than to do a thing, then you're more likely to stumble through the messy middle and start to move from conscious competence, which is the person who is struggling to drive the car because they have to remember their checklist, to eventually unconscious competence. Because, yes, it's supposed to be easier said. It's supposed to be easier for me to say the thing than for me to implement it, right? Marissa says, once you are aware that you're not doing anything wrong and that your body is trying to protect you, you can move through that discomfort. Exactly. I think a lot of the work that we do is recalibrating our expectations. And that's just not in healing, that's in life. If you can get a handle on your expectations in life, and I'm not saying not to have any expectations, okay? Because without hope, there is despair. Trust me, I've been there. But I'm saying to loosely hold. I call it, and I've called it this for years. I call it crushing the butterfly. When you want something to come to you, you have to loosely hold your hand open and you have to be safe and welcome the butterfly to land on your hand. If you become to this, the delicate, beautiful thing that you are trying to attract into your life, you crush it. You scare it, right? There's a looseness, an invitation, but not a forcing. I don't know the words, but that's what I think. So let's talk about why this can feel so hard. When you start choosing to live differently, some of the old parts of you think they are dying. And guess what? They are. Clock it, like the young people say. Okay. So if you thought you were dying, would you go down without a fight? Would you go down without a fight? Think about it. Who's dying, Rashni? The overachiever in you has learned that love is earned through performance, right? Proving herself, performing herself, being perceptively perfect. Come on, bars. You're not perfect, but you make people think you're perfect, right? And so that's how you get approval and love. So now, when you start to stop hustling, you start resting, and you decide you're gonna sit down somewhere, okay? The inner overachiever in you panics. She thinks she's gonna lose her value, and she starts to fight back. You're trying to kill her. That's what she thinks is happening, right? What about the fixer in you? Well, this me, y'all. I'm telling on myself. This is me. It's me, God. Okay. When you start trying to act right, do better, be different, live differently, show up more healed, more rested, more creative, more centered. The fixer in you for years, your whole life, he believes that her safety depends on managing everybody else's emotions. It's me, Jessica. I'm in here. It's me. Okay. So now you got her out here feeling unsafe because now you're trying to stop rescuing everybody because you're busy trying to rescue yourself. And she feels useless and afraid. So guess what she gonna try to do? Fix you. What about the caretaker? Okay. When you start trying to act differently, the caretaker in you equates being needed to being loved. Being needed to being loved, right? So what happens when you start putting yourself first? She's going to say you are selfish and she's going to think you are not loved. What about a shout out to all my people pleasers? People pleasers in the house. Re- Reform people pleasers in the house. If there's a part of you that thought that you survived by avoiding conflicts, and if there was a younger version of you that did survive by avoiding conflicts, what do you think is going to happen to that internal part of you when you start telling the truth? that might cause a conflict. She's going to tell you that you're breaking the rules. She's going to tell you that you are now unsafe. Marissa says it's me too. Okay, shout out to the people pleasers in the back. I see y'all in the back. Okay. And finally, what about the performance you, the performer? Because if you a black girl, 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 there's a performer you, okay? And yes, I know every human being, whatever. I get that we're talking to black women, and we always got to have on a whole different version of us, okay? That we have words for it, code switching and all of this. So if you're trying to show up differently now, the performer in you lived for the applause. Okay? She lived for the approval of others from external sources. So what's going to happen now when you steal away for quiet and rest? What is she going to tell you? She's going to tell you that you're a failure because nobody's clapping. Nobody's approving. You don't have your next hit of external approval. So what are you good for? Right? And here's the thing that I have learned over the years after trying to silence these parts of me, trying to muffle these parts of me, trying to ignore these parts of me, trying to, distract, whatever, these parts of me. Integration is the art of doing what you know, but the word integration means bringing together. So instead of trying to break myself into pieces and ignore the overachieving voice and ignore the fixer voice and ignore the caretaker voice and ignore the people please and ignore, I decided I was going to bring them all together. I was going to integrate myself into one whole human being and listen to them because they're going to tell me why they feel unsafe. And then I can do something with that information because those parts of me are not bad. You know why? Because I am enough right now. This is the mindset shift, right? I don't have to fix it. I don't have to clean it. I don't have to hide it. I don't have to run in shame from it. I have to integrate it. I have to sit down all of these outdated parts of me, valid survival mechanisms, but outdated, who are not going to get me to the life that I want to create right now, but who helped me survive something in my past. And I have to listen to them and they have to tell me why they feel unsafe when I say no. Why, when I take a nap, they think that I'm going to be forgotten. Why they think that people pleasing is conflicts are horrible because the world's gonna end. I gotta listen to them, right? And then me, Rashni, the conscious Rashni that's sitting here right now, and you, if you do this work, you get to guide them into a new role. Does that make sense? You get to address their concerns and become a person who has addressed the safety need and one that serves who you are becoming, who you are creating, right? And learn what safety feels like moving forward. That's why it feels so hard, you guys. That is what has worked for me. I am enough. Even with the voices telling me that I need to fix something about me or other people, and I need to manage this, and I gotta earn love. All the voices, I listen to them now. I talk to them almost like a parent talking to a child. What do you need? What is it that's freaking you out right now? What can I give you so that we can become this other thing as opposed to ignoring it and trying to hush it, right? Because and here's a good one. When you're healing inside of our culture, you guys, do not ignore the fact that the world we live in benefits from us overdoing. Okay. A dysregulated Black woman is easy to control. Dysregulated productivity rarely benefits us. So who is it? If they keep us dysregulated, right? They keep us distracted and then they keep us producing and it doesn't benefit us. Who is it benefiting? Let's think about that, class. Because I'm going to tell you what, it ain't you. It's not you. Okay. When a Black woman slows down, systems start to shake because our labor often props up families and churches and workspaces and movements, and our exhaustion is the fuel that keeps the whole thing running. So, when you choose to rest, Black woman, or you choose to set a boundary, Black woman, or you choose to set a limit, the world is going to come at you and be like, you lazy, you selfish, you difficult, ungrateful, mean, weak, too much, because they need you to not. Right? And that pressure that we all face on a daily basis can make your nervous system go crazy. And then you just double down on the old patterns that you know that make you feel safe but miserable and that you are modeled by people that came before you. You're going to start saying to yourself, see, now rest is not safe. I set a boundary and I got cussed out. Right? I got to keep going, going, going. I gotta keep doing something strange for some change on this job because I need it, right? So I know what they're saying is wrong, but I just gotta dance. Okay. And I know it's not just Black women. I know somebody going, "Why it's not just Black women?" It's not just Black women, but that's who I'm talking to. So stop centering yourself in my video. Mothers, hello? Mothers, I'm a mother. We are often praised for burning ourselves to the ground because of our kids. Burn it all the way out. You want to get applause? Burn yourself out as a mom, as a woman. Firstborn daughters? Oh my God. I have conversation I am the baby, okay? I am the baby, okay? That firstborn daughter thing, my God, on today, you guys are applauded for basically being the mini mother who wasn't parented by your mother, but also parented all the other people, and you held the family together when your prefrontal cortex wasn't even ready yet. You was a whole adult when you was like 12. What's going on? Okay? What's happening? Okay? Queer people, disabled people, neurodivergent people, anybody that is off the center of the bell curve are often expected to over adapt to the center of the bell curve just so they can exist in the culture. You know how exhausting that has to be? High achievers are rewarded for ignoring somatic symptoms. What does that mean? You could be having a clear heart attack. Your back hurts, your teeth are hurting, you're having headaches, your skin is dry. And as long as you get that project in, as long as you finish all those degrees, as long as you bought the car and you got the house and you are a high achiever and you are racking up all of the things on this conveyor belt, it does not matter if you're walking with a limp and you just coming apart. You weren't ready for what, Marissa? Okay. I'm telling the truth. Hello. Janice says, I was in an office 2 hours after work and the boss stopped by on the way to a party. I packed up and went home because why am I trying to outdo the owner? I was a menace in corporate America. And when I tell you I was ahead of my time, because nowadays, how I was acting when I was in corporate America was looked down on back then, but these Gen Zs and millennials don't give a flip. Okay, remember, I'm Gen X. The way that Gen Z and millennials act right now in office settings, especially Gen Z, is how I was acting. Okay, you ever seen that meme where the person's on the on the meeting and it's 4:59 and the clock hits 5 o'clock and the person just closed their laptop on the meeting? I'm off the clock. I'm off the clock. And I'm old enough that I was in corporate America back when it was pagers. Okay, pagers. Why are you paging me? I don't even want your pager. Okay, I come in here, I give you what this is transactional. All right. A lot of the stuff that I see the people talking about online now, I'm like, I was doing that. And people was looking at me like I was crazy. They was looking at me like I was insane. And I wasn't insane. I was ahead of my time. Okay. Hello. What was that? Because I see them out there. I'd be like, I know that's right. So we live in so many different systems, you guys, that call our survival strength and our rest weakness. Marissa says up here, prepare for the insults because you're upsetting an entire system when you rest. That's what I'm saying. The systems want you burnt out. And Black women, aren't we tired of standing over grave sites, weeping over somebody that keeled over way too early, never got to reap the benefits of later in life when she was going to get XYZ because she never stopped and actually implemented all these do better things in her life. That's why knowing better isn't enough, you guys. We have to practice and with intention. Nobody is coming to give it to you. You have to take it basically. Okay? You got to make space in your own life for the do better to show up. You have to learn not to be a perfectionist performer and understand that there's going to be some stumbling between step 3 and step 4, but if you keep going, it becomes an unconscious practice and then you start being repelled by the previous thing, okay? And I'm going to tell you what the antidote is. Much of what you're looking for is easier in community. Much of what you're looking for is easier in community, okay? I'm not saying that you can't rewire your neural pathways in isolation, okay? I'm saying it's hard to do, okay? I'm saying it's hard to do. How do I know you can't do it in isolation? I did some of it in isolation myself. Was it easy? No. Is it easier when you get in community? Yes. Because the same way that you have external sources pumping you full of things that are going to crush you, it helps to have external sources pumping you full of the antidote to the more healed thing, right? The world is going to keep reflecting back the old pattern to you. The world that benefits from you coming asunder is going to keep reflecting back your bad patterns and bad habits to you as the choice to be made because it benefits from you choosing that. That's why you need a new mirror, a new space of community members, whatever your choice is, that reflects back to you the you that you want to be. And it just makes it so much quicker. So you're not around a bunch of people telling you lazy, you're around a bunch of people telling you you're healing, right? When you make a misstep, your people are giving you grace. They're not on your neck. Nobody's telling you that you're late and that you're behind and that you're failing. They're telling you that you're aligning. Nobody tells you to just give up on something and not to try something at all. People tell you to keep going. Take a second, take a break, recalibrate, ground yourself, and keep going. Keep trying. And you're not around anybody that's telling you that you're too much. Your hair is too much, your skin's too much, you're talking too much, you're too loud, you're too opinionated, you're asking too many questions, or they're telling you that you're not enough. Which one is it? Am I too much or am I not enough? Okay. Is this the three little bears? You're neither of those things. Guess what you are in the very moment that you are sitting here with me? You are enough right now. The you that the world and you needs an hour from now, you are enough right in this moment to do what you need to do to get you from now to an hour from now. And that's all you got to think about. The you that's happening right now on Halloween of 2025, guess what she is enough for? She is enough to create November 1st you. And so on and so on. So you have to surround yourself with community because community is the anecdote and the shortcut from knowing better to doing better. That's what I have seen in my life. Okay. You can heal in isolation and you can rewire a lot of things in isolation, but it's super hard. It's super hard and it's super slow. All right. Community, accountability, new messaging, new modeling, possibility models, and the like, right? People who are working on your behalf, providing you resources, seeing you, trying, and giving you new message. You can read every book, you can take the courses, and you can still get stuck in a loop of your own mind because healing in isolation, I have found, has its limits, right? I've done it. And community for me has been the anecdote and the shortcut. There are so many times where I go to wiser spaces. Now, don't just go with everybody. Boundaries exist in community too. Choose wisely. I always say check the tree before you pick the fruit. It's gonna be a lot. Let me tell y'all this. Ooh. It's gonna be a lot of people that you share stuff with until you have discernment that's gonna tell you something crazy. Do you want what that person has? You don't have to take counsel from everyone. It doesn't even matter if the person is what it doesn't matter what the person's telling you. Check the tree before you pick the fruit. Find a community that is closer to the you are trying to create and listen to safe people in those spaces um, when you're making choices. It's the anecdote. It's going to get you where you need to go faster, okay? Because what you need is not necessarily somebody coming down on you. What you need is reflection back while you are healing. You need somebody to remind you, need somebody to like lovingly call you and tell you what you wanted. Okay, remind you what you said you wanted. Remind you what you listen. The accountability calls that I have for my planning retreat, a lot of it is me reminding them what they said they wanted. I'll be like, "Ain't you the one that got on this call and said you wanted a pink pony? What is that?" And they be looking at me like, "Oh, you remember that?" "Mhm. I remember that, girl." That's what happens in community, right? When you said that you wanted, um, something not to be driven by fear, and now you're being dragged by fear, you need somebody to come and sit beside you and talk you out of it, remind you what you said you wanted. And I don't do it to punish anybody. I do it to partner with the women, right? And you can find those types of spaces too and create them if you don't have them. A lot of times when I need support, nowadays at my big age, breathing on 50's neck, if I don't have a support space, I just make it. I just make it. Y'all would be amazed at what I have Facebook groups for. Okay. Hey everybody. Anybody want to come in here and help me wrangle this particular do better? Okay. Trusted advisors and community. That's why I build communities. I build them in my work. I build them in my personal life. I build that type of accountability to everything in my life. It's not an extra for me, you guys. It's part of me creating who I'm becoming. It's part of the do better. It's part of the do better. Because many of the women that listen to me, many of the women I work with, we aren't starting from the beginning. We have read the things. We have listened to the podcast. We are getting downloads. Women are getting divine download. They are hearing, they are understanding, they are almost inundated with information. What we need is not information. We need support. We need consistency. We need safe spaces. We need mirrors to reflect back to us the version of us we said we were creating, right? We need spaces where our nervous system can relax and practice what our mind already knows, right? So the way that you start doing better looks like this. You got to start doing things that help your body catch up with your mind. You got to help your body catch up with your mind. What does that mean, Rushni? First of all, Black woman, slow down. You can't learn 20 lessons in one day. You can't learn 20 lessons at once. Honestly, Black woman, we can't do it. That's an unrealistic expectation. I don't care how motivated you are. I don't care how much everybody applauded for you. Integration, which is the act of doing what you know, takes time. Choose one thing, okay? Choose one thing. Like maybe it's just resting when you are exhausted. I was supposed to go live earlier today at 12:30. You know why I didn't go live? My bed would not turn me loose. And I decided to rest. Instead of forcing myself out of the bed and forcing myself to come out here and move my arms and legs in front of you guys because I usually go live at 12:30, I slept, and it was amazing, and look, we're here right now, okay? So, maybe it's choosing to rest when you are exhausted, before you are exhausted. Rest as a preventative measure, right? Maybe it's learning to say no instead of writing a 3-paragraph text explaining yourself. Let me tell y'all something. You want to learn how to be a boundary ninja? Stop explaining yourself so much. I got that message years ago. I think there's a video on my YouTube channel that's probably 13, 14 years old where I was like, "Stop explaining yourself." And that was when I was just starting to dabble into boundary stuff. You explain yourself because you have a hierarchical thinking framework and you believe that person to be an authority over you, or else why are you telling them all that? The minute you don't explain why you're saying no to somebody that you don't think isn't over you, you're living in a power structure that's fruit off the slavery tree. I know that was a lot. Listen, I'm okay. Let me hold your hand. Hey, this Rashni, that was too much. ah, sorry, you guys. Sometimes it just comes out. Sometimes it just comes out. Sometimes it just comes out. So maybe when you slow down and you regulate your nervous system, practice one thing. I'm going to say no without writing people 4 paragraphs and explaining myself. Just going to say no with a period on the end of it. What about asking people for help and not going on and on about how guilty you feel? And I would never ask anybody for this. And I've never asked before. To just ask the person for help, especially if they've offered help before. Listen, I am the queen of if you offer it, I'm coming at you. I learned that from my great uncle many, many years ago about accepting help. And a person who won't accept help is a sign of pride. And I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god." But he was right. Okay, he told me that in my 20s, and now that I'm 49, he was right. The man is listen, he was right, okay? Real change comes from repetition, and repetition can happen when you slow down and stop rushing. So the first step to doing better is to slow down. Second step to doing better is to pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your body. Many years ago, my therapist said to me that your body is going to signal something to you before your brain catches up. At the time, I had no idea what that man was talking about, but he's right. If you are a person that's into somatic experiences, somatic healing, somatic therapy, somatic, all of the things, you will all, and if you learn about the nervous system, you will learn that we live neck up and disconnected from our body in intellect. And that is also fruit off the slavery tree because we are served up to be people's tools in capitalism when we do not listen to our bodies. As children, we were told to disconnect from feelings that we had and to not trust our bodies. So it's a relearning. There's a relearning that has to happen when you want to start quote unquote doing better, right? Your body's always going to tell you the truth before your mind catches up. So when you feel tension in your neck, when you feel your breath start getting short, when you feel your hands start cramping up, you start sweaty palm, you get an anxious swirl, your stomach flips, okay? Your heart starts racing, tension somewhere. You start gritting your teeth, right? Or something else, something new. Don't push through it. Black woman, this. Don't push through that. Pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what is happening right now? Why am I feeling that? Because you might not know in your brain why, but your body is trying to tell you something. Let your nervous system learn what safety feels like because it could be one of the parts of you I just told you about. You could very well be safe, right? It could be ringing an old alarm. People please are coming up. Fix are coming up. All these things coming up. And if you pay attention to your body's cues, it will give you the messaging that you need so that you can start doing better. And then your body can catch up to the new reality that you are creating and create it. The next thing after you slow down and you pay attention to your body's cues is to make rituals, not rules. To make rituals, not rules. What does that mean? Rules are very black and white. Rules demand perfection. Rules mean that something is wrong, something is right. A ritual to me invites you to be present. A ritual to me brings you back to a moment, centers you back to the present instead of makes you measure things like a rule is going to do, right? So instead of trying to overhaul your life and create all of these crazy rules and regulations, why not just create rituals and things that you do that ground you back to yourself, right? What does that mean, Rashni? When I find myself going off course when I want to do better, I stop for a second, I pull out my little journal and I write in my journal. I send a little voice note to myself that I'm gonna listen to before bed. Um, when I think I have failed and I start beating myself up, instead of doing that, I go and I take a little walk around the block. I stop and I do a breathing exercise. I put on my diffuser, dim the lights, and sit in the silence for 5 minutes. I take a deep breath without beating myself up. I tell myself something that my friend would tell me. So, like, I think I'm headed in the wrong direction. I'm making a bad choice. I know better than this. I know better than this. And then I think, what would my friend tell me if I had made this flub up? Right? Rituals help you to regulate. Rituals help you to regulate. Rules don't. Rules don't. Rituals can turn your healing from a theory in your mind to a rhythm that you live out, from something that you know to something that you do, to something that you are, right? From something that's up here to something that just is you. It's almost like you become rest, right? So after you slow down, you pay attention to your body and you make rituals and not rules. The next thing I talked about, which is you have to find mirrors. Some something to reflect back to you, the you that you are trying to become, the you that you are creating, right? You don't need another person telling you. You need telling you what you were. That's what I was trying to say. You don't need somebody reminding you of how you messed up. You don't need somebody reminding you of how you used to mess up, all the missteps you made and who you were and this and that. As a matter of fact, if you have people like that in your life and you're listening to me, get rid of them, okay? And if you can't get rid of them, figure out some way to turn down the volume on that person. Because what? Not at our big ages. I don't know how old we are, but we're old enough. No more, okay? Time out. Not on my watch, right? You need spaces where you can see yourself clearly with grace and with love and kindness. So look for communities that are going to reflect back to you growth, hold you accountable, and remind you of who you are becoming so you don't forget. Right? Because when you start living from more grounded, rested, and healed spaces, and when you begin painting on the canvas of your life what you want to see, it matters who is reflecting you back to you. I am big on identity work, right? Identity is who you are from the inside out. And reputation and all of that is reflective identity, who you are from the outside in. Both of these things matter because you don't live on a mountainside by yourself. But I don't want reflective identity to be your main thing, which is why I always anchor things in identity. However, your reflection is important. So don't discount it. Curate your reflection from healthy spaces that mirror back to you the you that you want to create, right? And you're not trying to you get to a point where you start looking for people who can give you advice, but if I'm being honest, I have learned over time that it's not really even about advice. I'm looking for alignment. If people stop giving me counsel when I start becoming much more trusting of the voice that's on the inside of me, which comes to that unconscious competence where it just becomes like second nature. And then what I'm looking at when I'm in community with these people is resonance. It's alignment. Okay? I'm not looking for somebody to tell me what to do, right? I'm looking for somebody who finally sees me as I am and reflects this beautiful creative being back to me, right? You don't need as much gets to a point where you don't need as much direction as you need reflection. Come on, bars. So, if you feel like you always know better and you want to do better, you got to intentionally find mirrors for the story that you want to see reflected back to you, for the new you that you are creating. Thank you, Celeste. Hi, Celeste. Bars. Okay. All right. So that you can see your growth because you're not going to see your own growth. If you're healing from Black womanisms, the collective Black woman experience, a lot of times we just blow past our healing accomplishments too, and we're on to the next thing. And oftentimes, reflective community I have noticed in my own life and when I'm coaching women is the only way that we see the gains that we've made. We're so busy knocking ourselves that oftentimes we don't even see that we've already hit the bar, much less surpassed it. So you need somebody who can help you see your growth, help you see who you're creating, and not just who you've been, okay? You don't need to keep having people pump in what you used to be. And then the last thing is to celebrate your wins. Big or small, celebrate them all right? Transformation does not come with fireworks or fanfare. Black women, we barely recognize when we actually accomplish something that we wanted in our lives. So half the time, the know better, do better, we don't even realize we're doing better. We don't even realize we're on the way to doing better, right? Most of the time, the do better shows up quietly. The do better shows up where instead of cussing this person out, you took a breath. Hmm. Or is that just me? Okay. Is that just me? The do better that you need to celebrate is the pause you took before you started over explaining yourself. Because you felt the eruption of not enoughness come all up from your nether reasons. And as soon as it hit your throat, you was about to start explaining yourself. And then my video popped in your head and you said, "Hmm, listen, celebrate that." What about the moment that you chose to be kind toward yourself instead of dragging yourself for filth? What about the moment that in the past you've always been, "What's wrong with you? Oh my god, that was so stupid. I cannot believe I got the." And instead you said, "Wait, okay, wait. No, wait, wait. Okay, Rushni Bull. What would my friend say to me?" My friend would be like, "Girl, it's not that big of a deal. You're a human being. Let's move on. You did your best." Huh. Okay, I did my best. That's worthy of celebrating. That's worthy of celebrating, you guys. Don't blow past those things. Those things reinforce the do better. Half the reason why we can't even notice that we doing better is we blowing past all of the miniature wins that are part of the do better, right? You set and maintain a boundary, celebrate that. These are the signs. This is your healing work, your growth work, your creation work, your do better happening in real time right in front of your eyes. So celebrate every single win, tiny wins with big intention. Yes, Pamela, big or small, celebrate them all. Okay. Thank you very much. What's that thing at church where it's like, oh no, that's not it. I was thinking of a whole different song. I was thinking of red and yellow, black and white. They are precious. Jesus, the little children of the world. Listen, it's in there, okay? It's in there, right? You have to notice those things, you guys. You have to name them, smile at them, jot them down. Get yourself a little trinket because it happened. Put a sticker on the board when it happens. Share what happened with safe other people, right? Do a little victory lap around your kitchen. Twerk something. Celebrate. Tell yourself, go to sleep, smile, and say, I did that today. I did it. We did it. And then go to sleep. Every small shift that you make deserves acknowledgement. And let me tell you who's not going to acknowledge it, the world. You know who's going to acknowledge it? The community that I'm telling you go get. Go find a reflective community. They will acknowledge it. But in the meantime, in between time, the world is not going to acknowledge you, boo boo. So if you're waiting on the world to acknowledge you, you could keep waiting on the world to change. It's not going to happen. Black woman, it's not going to happen. Tiny moments that are stacked on top of each other over time are how you become the you that you are trying to create. Tiny moments stacked on top of each other over time is how you create the better you. It's how you create the life that you love. It's how you create the life that loves you back. Correct. Celeste, okay? So you can't blow past your life because you think you go into a destination and you are the destination because you are enough right now. What you're looking for outside of yourself is within you. You're walking through life with the you that you want constantly present, and also creating her. It's a beautiful dichotomy. It's a weird thing that I don't think we all as humans can understand. But you're looking for a you to become a you out in the distance, and you're missing all the moments of celebration and ritual, right? And what I like you to do is to slow down. Yeah? To slow down, to pay attention to your body, to make up rituals, small things in your life, right? Find community that reflects back to you, the you that you want to create, and then celebrate along the way. Celebrate along the way, you guys. You've heard me talk about it a few times in this call. If you are looking for a space that has structure, accountability, support, etc., and a good time. We be having a good time over there. Come and join me in the Create Your Life virtual planning retreat. It starts on December 12th this year, and then the next time will not be until June. It is designed for Black women who are ready to live out what they learned. Okay. We start by answering the question, who am I? And from that question, we design a plan for your the next year, basically, right? It's a week of self-paced modules, a bunch of other good stuff in there, and then followed by 10 months of accountability calls with the women. And it is such a good time. Learn more about it. Go read the testimonials and join us at bit.ly/virtual planning retreat. Also, it's October 31st. The price is going up tomorrow, you guys, going up by $100. Okay. So if you've been wanting to join us, go click the link. It's in the information box and join us. If this video has been good to you guys, thanks for joining me tonight, late at night. It's a Friday night. It's Halloween. Y'all are out. I'm actually amazed nobody has came. I put a bowl of candy out. I'm a lazy Halloweener. I put a bowl of candy outside, and I was like, don't bother me, okay? Um, you should be happy because I didn't even used to do that. Okay, I didn't even used to put the bowl outside. All right. If this video has been good to you, click the like button on YouTube, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn, depending on where you are watching. And don't forget to actually subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Glamazini. Next week, I am going to be talking all about micro habits, right? Don't knock small things you haven't tried, which is one of my favorite things to say because a lot of times Black women, we think we're going from zero to hero by Wednesday. And you're not, sweetie. That's where the expectation is incorrect, right? Small things you haven't tried. You know them, but you haven't done them. Okay. And then I'm going to wrap up the week talking about soft habits for hard seasons with a special guest. Okay. So you have to stay tuned for the special guest. I'll also be traveling next week. So that is good. So send your prayers in my direction. And thank you for joining me, ladies. Thank you for joining me. Be well, be encouraged, and keep creating. Hmm. Here's a pineapple, although there's 2 back there, but, why not have another one? Here's a pineapple, y'all. Bye.